So, the original story that I heard on OpenAI when you were founded as a nonprofit, where you were there as the great sort of check on the big companies doing their unknown, possibly evil thing with AI, and you were going to build models that sort of somehow held them accountable and slowing the field down if need be.
The reason for starting OpenAI was to create a counterweight to Google and DeepMind, which at the time had 2/3 of all AI talent and basically infinite money and compute. And there was no counterweight. It was a unipolar world.
And through whatever series of things happened, the thing that was originally a nonprofit dedicated to safety is a public corporation, for-profit, wholly owned subsidiary of Microsoft, deploying in competitive types of races against other ones.
The firing shot was when ChatGPT launched a year ago.
It is the embryonic version of online artificial intelligence, the early frontrunner, but it is then the new frontier for the tech giants.
When that happens, if you're Google or Anthropic, are you going to sit there and say, we're going to keep doing this slow and steady safety work in the lab and not release our stuff? No.
As you may have heard, AI is having a very busy year.
There's a new AI chatbot called Claude 2.
The Google guy saying that he's the problem, and they're the problem, like they started it, or they shouldn't have let this out of the bag.
One of the things we need to be careful when it comes to AI is avoid what I would call race conditions, where people working on it across companies, etc., so get caught up in who's first that we lose, the potential pitfalls and downsides to it.
There's just so much commercial pressure. If you take any of these leaders of the top tech companies, if you pause, but those guys don't pause, we don't want to get our lunch eaten.
But the problem with that is that it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the default there is that we all end up doing it.
That technology is moving so quickly that even those who are on top of it can't keep up.
It can be very harmful if deployed wrongly. And we don't have all the answers there yet, and the technology is moving fast. So does that keep me up at night? Absolutely.
So I've been keeping a little list here of potential downsides or harms, risks of generative AI, even in its current form. Let's just run through it. Loss of jobs, manipulation of personal behavior, manipulation of personal opinions, and potentially the degradation of free elections in America. Did I miss anything?
Raise your right hand.
Misinformation, generation of deep fakes.
A new government report now identifying a major risk that artificial intelligence could have on the U.S. financial system.
Specifically, Anthropic is concerned that AI could empower a much larger set of actors to misuse biology.
I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong.
Geoffrey Hinton made headlines with his recent departure from Google.
What I've been talking about mainly is what I call the existential threat, which is the chance that they get more intelligent than us and they'll take over.
They are racing to systems that are extremely powerful that they themselves know they cannot control.
You think that's real? It is conceivable that AI could take control and reach a point where you couldn't turn it off and it would be making decisions for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely where things are headed.
We're really at a crossroads. We could have everything we could dream of if we were careful, but we could have a nightmare beyond contemplation if we're not.
I'm not saying I know what the right trade-off between acceleration and safety is, but I do know that we'll never find out what that right trade-off is if we let Moloch dictate it for us.
I think without the public pressure, none of them can push back against their shareholders alone, no matter how good-hearted they are. Moloch is a really powerful foe.